guys, welcome to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, you should go watch that and then come back and watch this, because this is the first time ever in my few years of doing YouTube that I'm like, this is gonna be such a long video. There's so much going on, it needs to be 2 parts. Let me crawl up here without ruining this belt.
What holds that top rod in?
This one?
Yeah, it all the way across.
Here, guys, your flashlight.
The other way. What's holding that in?
No, it doesn't go all the way across. It ends right here. Here's your flashlight. Ready? Okay, break the, let's work loose.
Let's go. Okay.
Oh, I can pull it.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Keep pulling it?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, that's right. That's true.
Huh? Got it. Lots of little parts we can't lose in a bean field at night.
I remember having that little retaining ring on the... There should have been one on the bottom side too, I bet.
What does the little retaining ring look like? Is it plastic? What is it?
Metal.
Got it.
They're gonna make me get that Allen wrench too. If it's an Allen wrench, because I can't see it. There's the other C3 trail right here.
So that it's just a weld that broke.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like welding tonight? All right, we're gonna run home, weld that up, get to bed because it's 11 o'clock, and then we're gonna wake up early in the morning and come out here and get it fixed. That's the plan anyways. So here's the thing. We've been buying a lot of Harbor Tool freights as of lately, because frankly...
Harbor Tool freights?
What did I say?
We've been buying a lot of Harbor Tool freights.
Oh. We've been buying a lot of Harbor Freight tools as of lately because they're so cheap. You can break as many as you want and then you'll still be money ahead. And a lot of tools that we found are really strong.
I hate cheap tools, but do what you gotta do, I guess.
So, especially some specialty tools, like that bearing puller set that we couldn't find yesterday. Like 60, 70 bucks or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, some of their stuff comes in this packaging that is so hard to remove the tool from. In fact, this is a Harbor Freight Icon toolbox. And not gonna lie, it is an amazing toolbox. Like I don't know, it's smooth. The drawers are massive.
Did I tell you these have went up 50% since I...
They have?
Yeah.
Well, there goes my dream of buying one. I'll stick with my Craftsman for now.
looks cold. I haven't used this welder enough to feel very confident.
What?
Find your stuff?
I think I left one camera at the house, but I have my other camera here. Alright, so that part that broke is the part that holds the big roller for the end of the draper to the head.
I got another problem. There was a... Okay, push it up here. Don't turn it. Yeah, let's push it on.
Aha. You know when you put together your IKEA furniture and then you're like, what does this bolt do? This is like the extreme version of that.
Well, I have a terrible memory of how stuff...
I do too. Don't worry. Actually, no. I'm a blame. I have a terrible memory because you have a terrible memory.
I'm always amazed that people can take things apart into little pieces and then not panic about... I really don't need you to hold there. I need you to hold this.
What am I holding?
Come around the other side. Use your one arm. You gotta push that up.
Up is pushing.
How you doing?
Oh, okay. It's kind of tiring, not gonna lie. Is it in?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. I'll keep pushing. Oh, right there, I see. Aha!
Is that easy?
Well, I wouldn't call it easy yet because it needs to go through up there. Uh-oh. I can't pull it back now.
Keep pushing.
No, because what about this thing?
What thing? Oh, you can't pull it back at all?
No. There's tension on it in weird directions. Oh, there we go. Aha!
Okay.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Do we just need to tighten it now? What were you just saying to me?
For those that think farming's so easy, this piece is $300 for Deere.
That's
it's
ridiculous.
cracked up. I thought I'd weld it and save it, but we're probably gonna need a $300 piece next year. Yeah, there's nothing to it.
So I'm tightening the belt over here. I actually over tightened it a little bit. So there's this little gauge right there, tells you how tight it is. Actually, now I loosened it too much. I need to tighten it a little bit more. But it's just this one bolt right here that tightens and loosens and tensions that belt. The socket set for the combine, Pittsburgh. The Allen wrenches for the combine, Pittsburgh. They're cheap. And surprise, have you broken anything yet?
No, I haven't.
No, 2 years now going on. We haven't broken any of them yet.
I hate cheap tools. I'd always buy American tools only. But what's the difference between actually having tools around that you can use and lose?
Yeah, I say being afraid to lose them or break them or...
Like at home there, I could never, all them's torques and all that stuff, if you had to spend $150 for each set, I wouldn't have them, so. And you got metric, you got all this stuff has all the metrics, got all the torques, all the...
Yep.
They're going to all these different fasteners.
It went from not having any tools to all of a sudden we have a lot of tools, but they're all cheap ones, but when you need them, they work. Usually. And like in our tool truck, we have all Pittsburgh wrenches, and then we spray painted. So each tool truck has Pittsburgh wrenches, then each truck is color coded. So like the Silver Dodge, we spray paint all the wrenches yellow. You don't spray paint your Snap-on wrenches, you only spray paint your Pittsburgh wrenches. Okay, moment of truth. New bearing and a new thingamabob. Seems to be making a lot of noise over here. He knows these combines and heads so much better than I do. I'm gonna have him go out and listen while I run it. Sound weird to you, or?
There's some little piece of tin hitting every once in a while. Probably why that piece is cracking up.
Alright. Well, think you're just gonna run it, or?
What?
You're gonna run it?
Yeah.
Okay. I will go grab my other camera and meet you in a little bit. Alright, so I hopped back in the grain cart. Combine got a load off, so it must be working okay. But this is what it looks like to unload these dirty soybeans. I can't see a thing. I have no idea if I'm near full or not. It's just kind of a guessing game at this point. Oh, go. The good news is that we now have 2 combines up and running. 9870 is running again like it should, and the S780 is over there somewhere. So, hopefully we have a good day today and we can get some beans taken out, because, well, we should be finishing up this field right now, not starting it.
They're dry.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit.
I mean, look at it. What's that white stuff on it?
Don't know. Sugar.
So earlier, actually not in this video, but in part 1, I talked about how we had a frost and how it's making everything dry.
So yeah, a little bit of that. I don't think you know the economics of it.
I don't, not really. I'm learning.
So, ideally beans are 13% when you haul them in.
Yep.
If you haul them in the elevator more than 13%, combines are.
Yeah, let's face this way. I can't look.
So 13%, anything over that, you get docked for the extra moisture, because they don't want to buy water. They don't want to pay for water.
Yep.
And they also dock you a little extra because they're wet. So 13% is ideal. Of course, when it goes under 13%, they don't pay any more because they're not buying as much water. They just base everything on 13%.
Yep. So if you bring it in above 13%, you get docked. But if you bring it in below 13%, they're not paying you any extra.
They're not paying any extra because you got more dry matter and less water. Yep. So anyway, so we plant different maturity beans. You know, you try to start, you hope to always kind of get them as they're 13. Some years it works, most years it don't. You get a wet week and then it, you know. Well, anyway, the frost the other night, it was supposed to get to 33 degrees. And we were kind of, every day we were finding enough beans to keep going, but we were ahead of it just a little bit.
Yep.
And I got to 25 that night. I didn't even realize it till the next afternoon. But so here's what happens when it freezes. Obviously the plant dies and all the moisture leaves the plant. Pods dry up. So the shrink is for every percent of moisture, you lose 1.3% yield or dry matter or whatever.
Yep.
Whatever. I don't know what the proper word, but you lose 1.3%. So yesterday our beans were down to 8%. So that's 5 times 1.3 is roughly 7%. So that is, for what our beans are yielding, that's five bushel right there times 15. You were at 75 bucks an acre already lost there.
Wow.
And then when you look at the beans, you know, they just, now I'll get one that's a little wet. No, they just crack open with like nothing. And if you chew on them, they shatter. So what nobody really knows how much it is, but you're probably losing another 5 to 10% of machine loss. Because the reel hits them, knocks them out.
Yep, they shatter out at the bean plant
And then
before
when
it
they
even
go
gets in
through
the head.
when they go through the separation process, no matter how much you try to be gentle, some of them just get turned to powder and blown out the back. You can do a count afterwards and see how many you lost, and so you can't count them if they're powder.
Yeah, yesterday I did a count. I was like, man, there's only one bean in this square foot. That looks pretty good, but yeah, I didn't look for powder.
But you might even, I bet you there's a lot of little chunks.
Probably. I didn't look that hard, but...
Anyway, so that's the economics. So if you lost 5 bushel on 5%, you know you lost because it's no longer there.
Yep.
And then if you could lose from 3 to who knows what number from mechanical loss, that's 10 bushel or probably 15% of your, and it's nothing you did wrong. There's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it.
I mean, you could have 5 combines in the shed. If you had somebody to run them, I mean, it's always a balance between having enough equipment, and that's why you got to have all this high-priced equipment, because you got to be timely.
Yep.
But you got to have a lot of acres to pay for the high-priced equipment. So that's just the law. And we're not complaining. We're still having a wonderful fall. We've been very blessed. It's just what most people don't realize, just how
fast
your fortunes can turn. They're still good beans. They're going to be a very profitable crop for us. But that's all your profit. That's the top end. That's the money that's just extra. And so it's just, like I said, I don't need a GoFundMe page like some of your other YouTubers might ask for, but just for those that don't know, and I don't think many farmers realize, some farmers wait for them to be the perfect condition to combine, and they don't care what the percentage moisture is. And I don't think many farmers do the math on how expensive it is.
So the soybean field that we're standing in right now is where I planted the Pioneer P21A53Es, the Enlist 3 soybeans. Corteva sponsored the video of us planting it, and then a little bit later of us checking it, and they also sponsored this video of us harvesting it. So we have a couple different varieties on this farm. I think the 9870 is currently in the P21A53Es. The S780 is kind of heading to the west a little bit more, actually east, sorry, west is that way. But as far as the Enlist goes, so this year we sprayed 0 dicamba. We were just sick and tired of every time you nick somebody's beans, you got turned in for dicamba drift. We said, well, we're just gonna stop spraying dicamba, and we planted a lot more Enlist than we have in the past. And if you guys can just look, I mean, there is very, very few weeds, if any at all. And what's most amazing is the fact that every soybean field around the area this year has volunteer corn. Because of the flexibility with the spraying with Enlist, we're able to come in here with Corn Killer a little bit later, and there is no volunteer corn whatsoever in this field. So this field was also done with a prescription planting map. Now I did a couple fields this year on prescription map, soybean fields, and the last one that we combined from the last video actually ended up doing really well. My zones were had like a 2 bushel variability between every single zone, good and bad, on my prescription map, which is a way better consistent yield than we've ever had in the past on that field. So next year we'll probably be doing a lot more prescription maps in soybeans. So it's gonna be kind of cool to see how these things yield, because, well, first of all, this was prescription map field, but like my dad just explained, they're very dry, so we're losing some bushels per acre there. Also, this field was hit with a crust because I planted it right before it rained, and that rain created a slight crust on the surface, and we didn't get as good of emergence as we would have liked because that crust was not allowing some soybeans to poke through. So it actually looks really good. You're out here, we have some very nice full soybeans, but as you can see, the stand is not as good as it should be. Not the fault of the beans, just that crust came in and created a layer on the top of the soil that the soybean just couldn't push through. So if you guys want to learn more about the Pioneer Enlist E3 soybeans, make sure you hit the link down in the description below and check it out. And let's put the drone in the air and take a look at these beautiful machines combining away.
Problems. I would never thought that you could be causing these problems. It smells so bright with eyes like these diamonds. Caution. I know I should have known. Right now you're not alone. I don't wanna get in trouble. See where you stand. I don't wanna see you crumble. To recall what we meant. All the words you never said. All the questions in my head. 'Cause you're trouble, yeah. Yeah, you're trouble. Yeah, you're trouble. 'Cause you're trouble. Yeah, you're trouble. Running. Everyone says that I should get going, start running. But how am I supposed to run when I'm falling? When I'm falling. I don't wanna get in trouble. See where you stand. I don't wanna see you crumble. To recall what we meant.
I left my camera in my pickup, so I'm on my phone now. I don't know. I know there's a bunch of YouTubers that use their phone to make videos. I don't know how they do it. I'm not a fan. I like my GoPro a lot better. Oh, I gotta move my head. There we go. Why are you beeping at me? Oh, the variety change. That would do it. I remember this too. If you look, there's some streaks in this field. That'd be because I ran out of seed when I planted it, and we just put a random variety in here. So there's about a pass and a half that is not the right variety. But it worked. Actually, that was a good yielding spot. Well guys, thank you for watching part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I will leave the link down in the description for that. And I will see you in the next one.